What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and today I wanted to do a quick review of Elementary OS. Now, as I stated in the intro of the video, I wanted to talk about Elementary OS. Now, Elementary OS just released a new update. It's version 6 Odin, and it actually came out around August 10th time frame, so I know I'm behind, and I've seen a lot of other content creators cover it. I actually had it on my plate, but I had to take a little break from my YouTube channel because I wasn't feeling too well. But I'm back in the groove of things, and I'm gonna go through and show you guys Elementary OS. But this thing is super cool. It's a great distribution for new users that are just getting into Linux. It's definitely very user friendly, and I wanted to go through, and kind of walk through the actual install, and then go through and show you guys a little bit about the distribution and actually how to use it. So let's go on and get started. Now, anytime I do a distro review, I always go to distrowatch.com just to give you guys a little bit about the actual distribution. It always has great information on the actual distribution, as well as kind of like where it ranks as far as other distributions that are out there. But Elementary OS, the OS type is Linux. It's based on Debian and Ubuntu. The origin is USA, so it's a USA led project. And then the architecture x86_64, desktop is Pantheon, which is a super cool desktop. It's very user friendly, and what this distribution heavily reminds me of is Mac OS, because it has the dock, and it also has the menus, the start menu as well, but it looks like a Mac OS. If you just quickly look at someone's computer with it actually installed, it looks like you're looking at a Mac. But as you can see, the category states beginner, desktop, live media. The status is active, so it's an active project, and it's been around for a while, and it has a big community, a lot of support, and currently it is ranked number 8. Now that's based on the day I'm actually looking at it. I don't know what it was when they first released this new version, but as you can see down at the bottom, it says popularity hits per day. If you look right here at 4 weeks ago, it was number 6. A week ago it was number 7, so it was higher than the current popularity level that it's at now. But it says Elementary OS is a Ubuntu based desktop distribution. Some of its more interesting features include a custom desktop environment called Pantheon, and many custom apps including photos, music, videos, calendar, terminal files, and more. It also comes with some familiar apps like the Epiphany web browser and a fork of Geary Mail. So that's super cool to actually see. And this is the actual link to the website. It's elementary.io. So I'm gonna click on it right fast. We're gonna go over there and look at that as well. Boom. So as you can see, this is an example of the desktop. They got a lot of support behind this actual project, you know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, they do ask you to actually support the project. They put it behind a paywall, but you can simply go here if you don't want to pay for it right off, and you just want to test it out or whatever, and then possibly go back and donate. You can always click here under custom, and you can put 0, and this will allow you to download Elementary OS from there. Because if you don't go in there, and just to show you guys, if you guys didn't know, let's say it's clicked on 20, it's gonna automatically try to get you to charge your cord and all that stuff, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? These people are doing this, developing this desktop environment, basically for free. It's open source. It's an open source project, so they're not charging for it, but it does help with the actual project, because time is money at the end of the day. So I always recommend people just go through and kind of donate if you can. Whatever, you can put a custom amount in here. You could donate $2. They'll take whatever you can afford you know, in order to get the distribution. But once you download it, you know, you can install it as many times you want to, and you get to go. It's no licensing or anything like that. But it says Elementary OS, the thoughtful, capable, and ethical replacement for Windows and Mac OS. So that's their target market. And at the end of the day, this thing is like super sleek and, like I said, very user friendly. So if you are new to Linux and you just want to try it out, this is one of those distributions you definitely want to try it out. Okay, so I already had this thing downloaded, but let's go on and hop over to my virtual machine so we can go through the install process, which is very super simple. Okay, cool. So we booted up in the actual live ISO, but right here, the first thing that pops up, it basically says try or install Elementary OS. It'll pull up its own desktop environment, the live environment, and then go through the install right away. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you boot it up. And I just wanted to show you what would show up at the actual kind of grub menu. So let's get past this part. I'm gonna press enter right there on try or install Elementary OS, but it also says check disk for defects, boot from the first disk. But yeah, we're gonna go through this, so I'll be back when it actually comes up. All right, cool. So this is the screen that'll pop up. It'll basically start the installation. And the first thing you want to do is select your language. So that's super simple. United States for me. So just pick whatever, and then select your keyboard layout. I'm gonna do English US. Good to go. Default, and that's the input language. And then also you can try the demo mode, so that's basically a live ISO. Will boot up into a live environment, and then you can test out Elementary OS. But what we want to do is erase the disk and install. And then they also have a custom install, so you can manage your partitions, you know, and all that good stuff. And let's say you already have a partition that you want to attach as the home drive without erasing your data on it, you can probably do it under there as well. So let's go through, hit erase disk and install. And then what we want to do is select the available disk. I only have one disk, you know, attached to this virtual machine. It's like a 30 something gig hard drive or device. So let's go down, hit erase and install, and you can encrypt if you want to. All you have to do is choose a password, and that'll encrypt the actual drive. And then you can don't encrypt. You have that option to don't encrypt. So I just click don't encrypt, and it's going to go through and basically do the full install. Now, one cool thing about it, you can actually see what's going on, what's taking place during the install by clicking the log. So what it's going to show you basically everything it's going to do. You can see up here is formatting the devices, and just going through the full process, mounting all the devices, pretty much the full install process. And then you'll see the installation of files. Now, I won't go on and wait for this to actually finish. I'll be back when the desktop environment is up and running. Okay, cool. So the installation is complete, and then once we reboot the device, it'll actually ask us to set up our accounts and all that stuff. So that's why we haven't seen that portion of the install yet. But let's just go down, hit restart device, and I'll be back when it actually comes back up. All right, cool. So here is the final step. It goes through and asks you the language again, which I'm not sure why it does that. If you do it, you know, in the beginning, it should automatically recognize that that's what you had installed. So I'm gonna just go through the process. It's gonna go through the keyboard layout again, English US, default, you know, for the input language. And then here's where we'll create our account. So I'm just create Josh, and then give it a password right fast. Boom. And then give it another password right fast, and then hit finish setup, and it'll go through the final setup process once we actually log into the system. But this is the login screen. This is what it actually looks like. Let's log into it and then go through, you know, the actual distribution, what it actually looks like. But Here's the welcome screen. This will pop up, after you install for the first time. It says welcome to Elementary OS. Continue to set up your useful features. Now I'm gonna quickly go through this stuff because I just want to show it to you. I'm not gonna actually make any changes other than the dark theme, which I really like, for everything, and that way you guys can actually see. But you could change up the colors, all that good stuff. But the dark theme is good. Nightlight. And this is super cool for changing the display settings. At a specific time it'll change it, throughout the day. It'll track based on the time of your location. So let's hit next. And this is some default settings right here. Basically housekeeping. It says old files can be automatically deleted after 30 days to save space and help protect your privacy. So old temporary files, trash files, all that stuff will get deleted after 30 days. So it's just verifying that you want that set up. And then also online accounts, you can set this up. I don't recommend you doing it unless you really need to, but I know a lot of people will. But you can connect to your online accounts like your Google account, and it'll sync everything as far as mail, calendars, tasks, all that stuff to this device. So let's hit next. Boom. Now this is where it talks about the App Store, and I'll show you guys that a little later. But they do have a app center, and then also it includes Flatpaks. It says you can also side load Flatpak apps. So super cool that option is there. Now it says ready to go. Enjoy using Elementary OS. You can always visit the system settings and set up hardware or change your preferences. So boom, that just gives you a little bit more information. So let's see it get started. And then one thing I'm gonna do is change the display settings right fast. And let's just click right here on the wheel, and this should allow us to change the resolution so we can look right on OBS. And let's just hit apply, and that'll go on and apply those changes. Cool. And so now we're able to see everything on the screen, in a better resolution for you guys. But super cool desktop. As you can see, it's super sleek. What I'm saying? It's got this taskbar down here, and I'll start over here at the top right, which is right behind my face. But let's just go on and get it. But it says this is basically the power button, and I'm gonna have to move my camera so you guys can actually see what's going on here. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Bam. So I'm in the left corner of the screen, but let's see, we can see everything up here at the top right again. So good to go. So show you guys this the power button. So as you can see, I'm logged into my account. It says logged in, but you have the user account settings. So you can click on here. That'll open up your settings for your account. And this is under settings, the actual system settings that are on the system. And I'll show you guys that, a little later, but you can quickly get to it from there. And then of course you have your log out, and it's super cool that it gives you the shortcuts. So it's super key and L that'll lock the screen, and then log out, control alt delete, that'll obviously log you out, suspend, and then shut down. So let's get out of that. But we have our alerts right here, so we don't have any notifications at the time. I'm pretty sure it's probably checking in the background for updates, so that might pop up in a second. But it's super cool they have that button up here, do not disturb. What I'm saying? So it'll stop giving those alerts if you want to turn it off, temporarily. Now here is the network settings, so you can go through, open up the settings for that and make some changes there if you need to, modify it, set up VPN connections, proxy connections as well. And then you can also turn on airplane mode right there. But all that stuff can be found under the system settings. But here's the volume settings. So super cool. It already has the music player up. And then the volume settings, you can go into the sound settings, which, like I said, this is all under the system settings. But I just wanted to at least show you that it's a shortcut that'll get you there. Now in the top center here is the calendar. So if you click up here, all I did was left click on the date and time and all that stuff, and it'll bring up the full calendar for you guys, and you can skip through it. You know what I'm saying? Click right here. That'll take you back to the current month. You can go back, you know, right here using the left arrow. Boom, good to go. And then they have the date and time settings, which you can access from the system settings. But let's go down and close that. But you can change up your time zone, you know, go through and set, you know, all your time settings right at that one location. So super simple, super easy. Now here is the applications, or the start menu, so to speak. You can say it, that's what it is, but it doesn't show like a start menu, but that's basically what it is, you know, applications. So they have two different views, so you can do a list, or you can, you know, do the icons, and then you can go through each one of them. All I'm doing is rolling the little center ball on the trackpad, or whatever it's called, on my mouse to go to the next page. Or you can click down here and that'll take you to it as well. But let's just look at some of the stuff that we have on here. So we have the App Center, and that's what I was talking about. And since we're here, just go down and open it up. And I'm gonna click back over here so you guys can actually see the rest of the applications. But calculator, you know, calendar, built-in calendar, camera, code, document viewer. So that's super cool that that's there. File manager. So let's open that up as well. And then let's go down here again. But the mail client, and I'm gonna open that up as well, just so we can see what it is. As you can see, you have to log into your account. So I'm gonna close it. I'm not gonna really, you know, mess with it. But let's go back here and look at what else is there. Multitasking view. Let's actually click on that. Oh, that's super cool. So it brings everything out. So if you have a different desktop, you know, you can go to that desktop. You can add another one. You know what I'm saying? You can go back to that one. So super cool. And then click on it and it'll take you back to it. So that's dope right there. But let's hit the start menu again, and it's super cool. It kind of hit the taskbar. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's not there right now, and that's mainly because it's hiding it, because these windows are kind of big. So if they come, you know, close to that bar at the bottom, or the taskbar at the bottom, it's gonna hide it. So let's move it up a little bit. Boom, let's get it back. So all right, cool. So we can see it now, and as you can see, it kind of shows you what you have open, just like in Mac OS. But I'm gonna go back to the file manager right fast, and I kind of just want to show it to you a little bit right there. But let's close it. It's very simple, you know, it's simple to use, not that difficult. But let's go back to applications again. But it says music, you know, photos, screenshots, system settings, which I'm gonna go to a little later, and actually I'll open that up as well. Move that to the back. But task, terminal. So we got our terminal right there, and I wish it was a way you could probably go in and change it after the fact, but I wish you could, you know, set it to what you want during the install, but you don't have that option. I'm not sure why they didn't include that, but you don't have that option during the install process. But over here we have video, and then the web, and I'm gonna open that up as well. But let's go to the App Store, and I clicked on it so it'll kind of, well, I tried to, so it'll stay in the front of the browser. But I just wanted to go through and just show you guys how to actually use it. But it's all categorized, super simple. You can look at what's all installed right there. And if you check it out right here at the top, it says operating system updates. So you can check that out and see the updates. So it looks like it's trying to refresh right now. But let's go back to the home. But all the apps in the App Store are categorized. So all you got to do is, you know, click whatever category or whatever type of application that you're looking for, find it, install it, and that's pretty much it right there on how to actually use it. And then also you can go up here to the right and search, and they'll allow you to find whatever application you're looking for. So boom. And then also, you know, you can obviously install things from the terminal. So, but let's go into the system setting. This is the current build. It's built on Ubuntu 20.04. This is the current kernel version. Now you can go through and look at your hardware as well as your firmware. Let's go back to the all settings right fast. But this is one thing. Now let me show you something super cool that they actually added in this version. But if you click on Desktop, this will go through and show you, you know, all the cool wallpapers that they have. And that's one thing about Elementary OS, they always have cool wallpapers. But I wanted to show you guys under the appearance. You know, like in the beginning we showed during the final setup, you know, I went through and selected the dark theme. Well, this is where you can go through and actually change it back to whatever you want to, as well as the night sight, whatever it's called. You could set all that in here, you know, manually, where it'll change how the screen is displayed. You can go to the dark theme at a specific time, as well as accents. You can change up the accents and everything. Right now I'm using the default, but you can go through and change it. And then the text size, so that's one thing I kind of like to do. I always put small, but default looks the best. It kind of looks grainy on the small for me, and that's only because, you know, I'm using a virtual machine which really doesn't have a video cord in it, so it probably is gonna show a little weird to me. But on your main system, if you have it installed directly on your hardware, then you're good to go. But then I also want to show you guys the dock and panel settings, so you can go through and change it up. You can make them smaller if you want to. You can also make them, you know, super huge if you want to, if you have problems seeing. But the default, you know, to me looks pretty cool, and it says hide when any window overlaps the dock. So that's what made it kind of go away or whatever. Like, see how it's down there, it goes away. If I move it up, it'll, you know, come back or whatever. Pressure reveal, I'm not sure what that means. It's probably the way it actually reveals itself. So let's go back. Okay, yeah. And then panel translucency, so you can change it up, or that can, you know, it has that translucent look to it. So, and then also multitasking, so you can set up, you know, like in Ubuntu, like one of those distributions that came out where if you hit the, you know, top left corner, it'll do something. Well, it's super cool. You can set what you actually want. You can go to multitasking view, you know, show applications menu, you know, execute commands, custom commands if you want to, and pretty much anything you want. And you can specify what corner you want it to do, whatever you want it to do. So that's super cool. You know, you have those options in there. Now, another cool thing that I saw in you know, the new Elementary OS, but they do have permissions for specific applications. So you can go through and change it up. And it says GNOME Web. So that's what we actually have installed, was the GNOME web browser, which I couldn't figure out what the hell it was earlier. But now we know it says GNOME Web. But you can go through and change up the permissions based on the application that you select, so it can access certain things, you know, if you want it to. If you want your, you know, browser to, you know, only use networking and GPU acceleration, you know, that's good. That's the defaults. But if you needed to access anything else, then you can specify it there in the permissions of each one of them. So super dope that they have that in there, because one thing about Elementary OS, they always talk about, you know, privacy. So that's super cool that they include that within the distribution. Now, that's all I wanted to show you guys there. And pretty much all the settings are super simple, you know, easy to find. I just wanted to highlight those couple, you know, that are there. They're like highlighted changes in this version of Elementary OS. So I hope you guys got something out of it, especially if you're new to Elementary OS. You know, that's some of the features that are highlighted as something that was added to this version of the distribution. Now, that's pretty much all I want to show you guys. This super cool distribution. Make sure you guys check it out. And I was actually running some updates in the background and see what I can actually check out that was being updated. But as you can see, there's a whole bunch of updates that I had to run. I think it was like 130 something updates, because I downloaded this ISO about a week ago when I was supposed to do the video. So it has some updates to the actual distribution. So let's go down and close it out, but we're good to go. And as you can see, it does have some updates, and I kind of wanted to show you guys what it actually looks like. But this is super cool that it shows you that the process is complete. So it'll pop up with a notification. So if you're running a command in the background, it'll alert you that something was actually done. So as you can see, it even shows you the command that we actually ran, which the last command was sudo apt upgrade, which that's what we were waiting on to finish. And it only took, or this alert came in like 3 minutes ago, so 4 minutes ago. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. That's a super dope distribution. It's tailored to new users, like I stated. So check it out for yourself, you know what I'm saying, especially if you're new to Linux and you want to install it on one of your systems. Let's say you can't upgrade to Windows 11 and you want to try a Linux distribution. Well, this is a great distribution for you to actually check out and install on some older hardware that won't accept like Windows 11 or something like that, so you could change up the system and kind of make it run like it's a new computer. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comment boxes below, and of course, keep it techie.